He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Baine, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Gadget Professor. My name is Don Baine and of course I am your resident Gadget Professor. Welcome to show 150. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you all know, or if you don't know, the Gadget Professor is now heard in 169 countries around the world, and I thank you so much for your viewership. We really appreciate it. We're going to mix things up today. We got a really cool show for you. We actually have a live guest from Reno, Nevada, from PanaVise, and I have been using their products for a while, and actually my cousin Dennis introduced me to their products, and this is going to be a really cool show. You're going to see some of the coolest mounts that you've ever seen in your life. So stay tuned for this. Of course, you can watch the Gadget Professor in a variety of ways. We're on the Boxy Box, the Roku Box. We're certainly on iTunes. If you just Google The Gadget Professor, you'll find that we're on the first 50 pages of Google, so that's easy to get to that way, of course. You can even watch me on YouTube, and the easiest way I always think is just go to the browser and dial in thegadgetprofessor.com, and you will see our webpage, and certainly in the middle of that webpage, you'll see the newsletter. Click on that, put your email address in there, and what's going to happen is every Thursday evening when we post a brand new show every Thursday night, as soon as it's posted in your inbox, directly emailed to you, you will get the announcement that the new show is ready to be viewed, and you'll get the URLs of everything that we talked about and the links, and it makes your life a lot easier. And this week we actually are going to be able to offer a unique discount on these PanaVise products that no one else will have except the Gadget Professor, so you want to stay tuned for that. Also, of course, you can check me out on Facebook. I frequently put up photos and some interesting information that's going on in the tech world, news and things like that. And last but not least, everybody knows my favorite page is Rebel Mouse, and essentially what Rebel Mouse does is does a couple things. We tweet all the time, and you can reach me, you can follow me on Twitter. That would be @GadgetProfessor, @GadgetProfessor. And then if you want, you go to my Rebel Mouse page. That would be rebelmouse.com/Gadget Professor. It takes all those tweets and actually puts a pictorial in front of those tweets, and now you can actually see a whole host of every gadget that's come out within the last 5 or 6 hours, and you can just see the visual, click on it, and it gives you all the information you want to know. And as I mention all the time, I check out that Rebel Mouse page 3 or 4 times a day because it gives me a quick overview of what's cool and what I want to cover. And certainly, last but not least, you can email me at any point in time, 24 hours around the clock at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com, thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. I answer all my email. It might not be the second that you send it, but I will absolutely 100% get back to you on any questions you have or advice that you may require. If you have some tidbits about things you'd like me to cover or a product that you want me to cover, just drop me a line at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. And now what I'd like to do, fans, is go directly on Skype. We are very fortunate to have the Director of Sales and Marketing direct from Reno, Nevada, from PanaVise, and his name is Mr. Tom Simpkins. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us. I appreciate it a lot, and I do like your products, and I can't wait for you to show the audience your view of them. I have them here, and they're really cool, and I will tell you, I don't have to tell you, you can tell me, but they are really, 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 really well made. So the show is yours, sir.
Well, thanks, Don. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you having some time with us, and hello to your audience out there. And we appreciate the Gadget Professor and everything he does to get good quality products in front of his audience. You know, PanaVise, we're a company that's been in business since 1956, and we've been making great quality electronics and mobile electronics mounts for a long time. And it's one of those products that, one of those things you don't necessarily notice a lot in your daily life until you don't have one.
Sure.
And one of the products we want to show is a phone mount. When you have a phone mount, you can't live without it. But unless you've tried one out, sometimes you don't know how useful they can be, Don.
Well, there's no question about that. And I know you're going to show us a phone mount now, and the things I need to tell my audience is that I've tried several phone mounts, and they work, but they fall off. They're hard to touch, they're hard to get to, and they're junky, they're clunky. They just don't work, they don't stick. I'm in Arizona most of the year, and it gets real hot, and typically the suction cups or the Velcro or however they mount it to the dash or to the windshield, it just doesn't work. I've come back many times and just seen the mount just lying in the car, and it drives me nuts. And then in the summertime, because it's too hot in Arizona, I head back east to the Boston area, and there you have the moisture and everything. But your product has been phenomenal. I've never, ever seen it fall off. And as a matter of fact, I mentioned early on that my cousin Dennis introduced me. He's been using your product for years, and he actually uses it on a boat. He uses your phone mount, and actually I think you're going to show us that mount right now.
Yeah, I want to show that to you, and we've designed it specifically for that, Don. And it's meant to work. And what we found out with phone mounts is your exact experience. Is a lot of times users, they try it out and it doesn't quite work for them. Either it falls off, or it's difficult to use, or it's too time consuming to use, and they try it for a few days and then they just get out of the habit. But really, when you're talking about a hands-free phone mount for your car, it's just a habit thing. You know, you get in your car, you put your phone in, and you go. And you get it when you arrive at work in the morning. You take your phone out and you put it in your pocket and you get out. And it has to be just a real quick, easy way to use it, and it's got to stay mounted. And so that's what we've started here with our Porta Grip. And we call it a Porta Grip. We've been making products under the Porta Grip name for about 20 years, but this is the latest version designed for today's smartphones. You can see that I had an iPhone mounted in there. And it's going to be adjustable for really virtually any major smartphone on the market.
Tom, put that right in front of you there so we can see that a little bit better with the phone in it.
There you go.
Yeah, move that to your right a little bit.
How's that, Don?
Move it a little bit over, a little bit more so we can see it. A little bit more. Other direction. There you go, right there. There you go. Now we got a great view of it. I have it here too, so that's it.
So you can see that it's a real low-profile, minimalistic design. You know, the mount isn't supposed to be flashy. It's not supposed to take your attention away from driving or from your phone. It's meant to hide behind the phone and be as small, as minimal as possible. We do everything in matte black, so there's no reflections, no glare, and it uses soft-touch rubber and different types of features to really cradle the phone. It's fully adjustable. You can see the feet here, you know, adjust and pivot out of the way for different charging ports and different speakers.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that, the audience, but these are actually clicking, so they're locking into position. These are not cheaply made. Believe me, they're professional. They're high quality.
It's a ratcheted foot in there, and so it's going to stay and not swivel around. And the other important thing is you got to minimize vibration in a product like this, and that's things that PanaVise knows very well. Is that when this is on the road, if you've got a slight little tick or vibration, then that's just going to annoy the heck out of you and really is going to make you not want to use the product. But so it adjusts up and down this way with the feet. It also adjusts with the arms here, because buttons have a variety of different, or phones have a variety of different button configurations and charging ports on the side. And then it also pops out like this. So that gives you a full width. So you can see
that's the part that I love.
That's an iPhone 4. And this is a Samsung Galaxy Note Mega. Currently the largest
big boy
smartphone that you can get. And, you know, we're holding that.
That's what separates your products. One of the things that separates your products from everybody else is just that flexibility alone. And whatever phone you put in there, it holds it in place. And it's great because it's adjustable. And as you change phones or someone's with you and has a different size phone, it's just a matter of you know, pushing a button and out it spreads and clamps right in there. It's great.
And you can see the way that we've designed it on this side. This is an HTC One, which is a great little phone. But the trick about an HTC One, you can see the charging port down there is on that weird side. It's not centered. And so with this phone, you can swivel the foot out of the way in order to access the charging port.
That's awesome.
Right there, where other ones are going to block it. You know, the iPhone uses its speakers on the bottom, and if you've got this blocked here and you can't adjust these, you're going to lose that. So this is a great way to show the fact that on your side here, you got buttons, you've got a charging port. It's a great phone, but you've got to be adjustable in order to use it.
That's your attention to detail, and that's why I like your product. It's that small attention to detail that when you buy a mount, you just think, okay, I'm going to slap the phone in it and I'm done. But it's not really that way. Like you said, the mounts change, the positioning of the speakers, the charging port. It's different on every phone, and these mounts have the ability to very simply adjust for that, and it's awesome.
That's absolutely right, Don. And the one feature I really wanted to call out here, which is unique to PanaVise, is you can see the shape of these arms when I hold it this way. It's kind of got a curved nature to it. And this is soft touch rubber on there. This isn't a compression foam. So it's not pinching your phone. It's not going to press any buttons. It's not going to squeeze your screen. The idea is that these are fingers that actually cradle your phone. So once you get the width set properly to your phone, you don't have to open up the jaws every time. You just rock your phone out because of the shape of those arms. You rock it back in, and it flexes that way. And this is where the simplicity of use comes in, and where our studies show that if somebody has to spend more than 1 second getting their phone out of their mount in the morning when they get out of their car or get in their car, they're not going to use it because it's too time consuming. There's no buttons to press. Once you get it set in place, you just go. You rock it in and out, and the phone, it's going to stay mounted. There's no worries about it falling out. So those are little fine details that maybe on the surface you can't quite see, but as you start to use it, you really start to appreciate those features.
Let's take a look at the suction mount.
Yeah, and that's where we want to go next. So this part is very universal. It's going to adapt any phone, and this does come off of here. Those are two different pieces. And so this part of it is the suction cup part on the back. And this is designed specifically to go on a windshield. Now, we didn't design this to go mounted on the dashboard or any other surfaces, because we wanted to make it a great suction cup mount and not a compromised mount that works on various surfaces. And you mentioned earlier on, down in Arizona, in July in Arizona, the heat on a dashboard can get up to 140, 150 degrees.
Yep.
You take the flip side of that in Green Bay, Wisconsin in February, you're going to be down in minus 20, minus 25. And so you get temperature ranges that really, you need to have a suction cup that works well for that. And so we've designed it to go specifically on the windshield, and it's a vacuum type design. And suction cups tend to have a bad reputation sometimes because a lot of them out there just don't work very well and fall off. Exactly. But this one is designed to work well. It's designed to stay on the windshield in different heat and cold temperatures, different elevations. Up here in Reno, Nevada, we're up here at about 5,000 feet. So, when you drop elevation, you can have some changes in the vacuum. Those are things that our designers and engineers have figured out. This is a product that PanaVise is designed from the ground up and tested from the ground up. It's not something we're sourcing from a party. We design it and we manufacture it. So this is the standard suction cup base that comes with this. It's going to have about a 6-inch reach from the windshield. This is going to be something that's appropriate for most passenger cars. Gives you a good reach if you put it up there to the left of the driver, or you could put it to the right down underneath the rearview mirror. So this is our standard suction cup mount. What's a great feature about this one is you can turn it into a low profile mount by taking out what we call this arm, which is the yoke, and it turns it into this little mount. And this is great for traveling. Those of you who travel out on the road and travel for work, and when do you use your GPS most often? Well, I know I do when I'm on the road. And it's really great to be able to put this little mount in your bag and put it up in your rental car. It's small. It's going to fit in your carry-on.
Now, what model is that?
This is the 15504, Don.
Okay.
And that's what's great about this little mount. This is going to be a small, little travel mount that's really easy to use, and just a general purpose, really great mount. So that's our 15504.
Tom, let me ask you a quick question. Well, the mounts are also, the angular scope of this is quite adjustable, which I really like, both on the phone itself, but also on the actual mount part, that you can actually move it so that you have just a plethora of positionings that you want, which to me is real important. And I think, again, that just goes to show that these things are not manufactured, they're engineered. I mean, these things really take into account just about every nuance there is with the mount that you would need.
Well, yeah, and the reason for that, Don, is the fact that there's so many different smartphones out there now, and there's so many different vehicles, and then there's different user preferences. So you take those three variables with the phone, and there's so many different ways that somebody could mount something in their car, and it's got to be adjustable. It's got to be easy to use. It's got to fit their driving preferences so that they can do what it's supposed to do, which is get the phone out of your lap, get it out of your cup holder, make it so it's a safer environment with the phone mounted up where you can see it, and adjust to really specifically how you need it. And so that's kind of where we take this next, Don, is our 15504 is kind of our entry-level product, which is great for most users. For somebody that needs to, maybe take it up a notch as far as holding power on the suction cup, we offer our 15509. You can see that it's the same Porter Grip holder, phone holder, that comes on top. This is the same one that we described earlier. The difference on this is on the back end. This has a PanaVise 809 suction cup mount, which is really an industry standard when it comes to suction cup mounts that stay on your windshield and don't fall off. I mean, we're talking, stay up on your windshield, 12, 18 months on this thing, Don. These things just do not come off.
That's true.
And it's robust and it's larger, but you can see the vacuum base on this is just large. And this just comes down to having it designed well, made of right materials. Again, there's people that try and do this, try and make it look the same. We have a design patent on this, and if they don't use the right materials and it's not designed and manufactured according to certain specifications, it won't work.
So
and,
that suction cup is actually patented, that type of process, that mount itself?
Yep, the design is patented on it. So we've got a design patent on this style and the way that it has a press button.
I wanted to show the audience that press button. That's pretty impressive. In fact, that's one of the reasons I bought the PanaVise. As soon as I saw it, I said, wow, this thing's got to be solid. Why don't you show them how that works? It's really cool.
Yeah, so basically it's a mechanical vacuum. It's not using a pump or it's not extracting the air out of the vacuum. There's a press button, let's put this over here like this, that when you press on this button, it flattens out the cup. And then when the cup is flat, this lock tab pulls the cup back up in the center and creates the vacuum. The vacuum's actually only about an inch in here, right. And the rest of this is all seal. It's sealing the windshield. That's about an inch seal, and then the vacuum inside there's about an inch. So that's what makes this such a powerful suction cup, is the fact that the design creates a nice tight vacuum, and the seal is a fairly thick seal. And that's why this thing holds so well in the windshield. It
really does its job well. As I said, I've had mine on for probably 9-10 months. It's not moved. It's there. The other thing is you can probably put a bowling ball on that and it would hold it. It's that good of suction. It really is.
This suction cup actually we use for quite a few products, and we'll have to discuss that maybe in another show, Don. But we also make some action camera mounts and things like this. And when you're thinking of like GoPro mounts on the top of a car, outside of a race car, people are using this. So if it's good for that, it certainly is going to be good to hold your phone inside your vehicle. We also provide a 3-inch extension that'll extend this out about 3 inches. So that gives you a total length of about 8 inches off the windshield. It gets the phone closer to your fingertips and a little easier to use. So that's our model 15509 with the optional 3-inch extension. Sorry, 15508.
Exactly.
That's what this one is, 15508.
Let's talk about this puppy right now. When I saw this at CES, and I just went, oh my God, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'd like to talk about it, but you're going to do a better job. Let's show the folks this. This is amazing, amazing.
We talking about the 15509?
Yep.
Or the
long one with the extension. You have that one in handy?
Okay, all right, good. Okay, we're on the same page. So if you need even more reach, so think about if you're in a van or a pickup truck or a car with a deep dash. I've got to come out so I can give you the full view of this one.
Right.
So this is the same standard PanaVise phone holder, the same PanaVise high quality 809 suction cup base, but the difference with this is an aircraft grade aluminum telescoping shaft. And this is going to telescope all the way out to 14 inches. And
It's
you might
amazing.
look at that first glance, you might look at that and say, what is the deal? Why would I need it to come out that far? Well, the ideal is when you think about you're sitting in your car, think of the root of where your windshield meets your dash out in front of you. And sometimes that could be a little further out in some cars, for example, a van or a pickup truck. And instead of having this mount hanging out in space out here wobbling, you can mount this closer down to the root of the windshield and kind of lay the mount down across your dash. And then it'll come out and sit, right next to you, right above like your air vent, depending on your vehicle, over on the right side, right above where your navigation is or your radio is. And this is really meant to, you get the phone, get it reached out right to where you need it. That way you're not having to lean forward and move to get to your phone. It's really at your fingertips. And it's a quite an adjustable piece that adjusts obviously in and out this way, but it also is going to adjust fully at this pivot point here. And then of course with the PanaVise tilt, turn, and rotate ball, you get the 360 degree rotation and tilting of 270 degrees this way. So really this is going to be able to position to pretty much anywhere you need it. And once you get this mounted in your car, it stays there. It's there's no reason.
It's a brilliant design. What we have a lot of people who watch the Gadget Professor who have motorhomes, and clearly you know that the dash on the motorhome is way out there. But with this type of mount, with the ability to pull it out and stretch it out, and also there's no little pin that locks it in. There's an actual clamp here that just clamps it down. And believe me, wherever you put that, wherever you rotate that or extract it, it stays there. And then you have, again, the ability to adjust it up, down, whatever. And there's no angle that you can't achieve. And I was astounded about, I can't move it. Once it's clamped, I cannot, no matter how much force I put on it, it stays. And again, with your large mount on the back, wherever you put this, it's going to be there. So once again, they're very, very well made, for sure. Very impressive.
Great, and that's really what it comes down to, is get the mount that fits for your phone, for your vehicle, and for your driving habits. And with these three mounts that we've shown, they really should be able to fit almost any application. This is the part number 15509.
Okay. Well, Tom, I really, really appreciate you taking your time. I know you are a very busy guy, and you've been very kind and generous with your time, and I appreciate you giving us an upfront and honest view of the PanaVise products. And I also want to thank you in advance. We're going to go to this next screen, and actually you've been extremely generous to us, and you've offered all the Gadget Professor fans a great discount from Newegg. And if you look at the screen, you'll actually see the discount that's offered, and this is only available through the Gadget Professor and for the Gadget Professor fans, and it's only going to be up for 2 weeks. So they were going to do it for a week, and I begged them to do it for 2 weeks, and they were very nice in doing that. So you can see the information right there. You'll just put that code in when you order the products. They'll all be listed as to what you want. Everything that we covered today will be discounted. Just use that code. And Newegg it speaks for itself. They're a great company, and you get great service from them. And I must say, Tom, my definition of a gadget has always been something that's practical, that serves a good function, serves a purpose, and is affordable. And you guys do all of that, plus the fact it's so well made. It's just so well made. It's the best one out there as far as I'm concerned. And I've seen 30 or 40 different types of mounts. This is number one in the Gadget Professor's book. So